we're going to hop over to Europe, and we're going to talk about one of the first alternative app stores in the EU that is shutting down. Some of you guys may remember a couple of years ago, the Digital Markets Act came into effect in the EU and did many things, but one of the things it did is it forced Apple to open up to third-party app stores. One of them, the SetApp Mobile, is now shutting down. It first launched in September of 2024, and it says that it offered dozens of apps across categories like productivity, finance, video, creativity, and more. This was a $9.99 monthly subscription, provided the Apple ID was associated with an EU member state. The company says that all applications will be removed by the end of the sunset date, which is February 16th. Applications on desktop will not be affected. They stated that the reason that they were doing this is, quote, still evolving and complex business terms that don't fit SetApp's current business model. And I love what TechCrunch wrote here. They said the complex business terms being referenced here are Apple's complicated set of fees for apps operating under its new business terms in the EU, which include a controversial core technology fee that charges developers €0.50 for each first annual install over $1 million in the past 12 months. The tech giant revised the fee structure last year to avoid further penalties for non-compliance with the DMA, but instead of simplifying the fees, it made them more complex. And then here at the bottom, it notes, it says there are still other alternative app stores operating in the EU, most notably the Epic Games Store and the open source Alt Store. Apple really came under a lot of fire for this. They really went out of their way to be as obnoxious as possible. And thankfully, the EU did call them out the first time that they did it. And they're like, no, you're technically complying, but you're making it so ridiculously hard that nobody's going to do it. But like the article says, the revised version that they came back with their fee structures and requirements really wasn't much of an improvement.
The requirements that Apple has for these alternative app stores in the EU is extremely onerous. And it's crazy that Apple continues to restrict this only to the EU and hasn't expanded this to other regions where people would want access to alternative app stores.